everyone. Welcome to Go Publish Yourself, an IngramSpark podcast. This episode is sponsored by Stress-Free Book Marketing, helping authors create personalized marketing strategies to expand their reach. IngramSpark publishers get a free book marketing analysis and a 15% discount on marketing plans. Hi, I'm Robin Cutler, the director of IngramSpark.
And I'm Justine Bilo, and I manage the author acquisitions program at IngramSpark. Hi, Robin.
Hey, Justine. So today we are going to talk about the differences between IngramSpark and CreateSpace and how an author can use both. So as you know, Justine, this is one of the most hotly topics that we get asked about at all the conferences that we go to. Invariably, someone will stand up when I'm talking about IngramSpark and ask, what's the difference between IngramSpark and CreateSpace? So this is a perfect time to be talking about this topic.
Well, this year, we published right before New Year's a blog post that I wrote about this very topic, and it got a lot of attention, and people had a ton of questions, which kind of sparked this podcast. So we're hoping to answer some people's questions that were still outstanding after that blog post in this podcast. So we hope would do that today.
And in full disclosure, I actually used to work at CreateSpace. Now I'm, the director of IngramSpark. I, have nothing but really good things to say about CreateSpace. But, just today we actually got a press release that basically said that CreateSpace was sort of disbanding their author services part of their business. So did you read about that as well, Justine?
I did. It was a pretty shocking press release today. I was really surprised by it. So it was really good timing for the podcast, though, since we were talking about it today.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So because one of the key differentiators between IngramSpark and CreateSpace has been, that they've offered authors services like editing and design and, some marketing in terms of some of the packages that they've offered in the past. So, with them kind of doing away with that part of that business, there's less, I think, differentiation between us, except that IngramSpark, I think, will be able to offer an author, more of an end-to-end author kind of experience going forward. Don't you agree?
I totally agree with you, Robin. And I think it's a good idea to jump into some of the things that came up on Facebook and social media about the differences. And one of the big ones was hardcover. A lot of people were buzzing about hardcover. So at Spark, we offer a hardcover option, and we've talked about it before in past podcasts. And we've talked about how much we love the hardcover option and our love for hardcover books. And CreateSpace doesn't offer hardcover, right, Robin?
Yeah, that's right. And my understanding is they're still going to continue to operate as a print on demand company in terms of printing. So, and I don't see where they ever are going to offer hardcover now. So that's definitely one of the key differentiators between the two platforms. The other one that I think we need to spend probably a little bit more time talking about is the whole thing about wholesale discounts. And I know we've talked about this on some other podcast as well, but we should really kind of dig into this a little bit. IngramSpark does offer flexible for an author to set up, a discount anywhere between 30 and 55% off the print, off the print format of your book. You can set a range. CreateSpace doesn't offer that today, and going forward, we can't really speak for CreateSpace and how, they might be changing their program. But today, they basically take, a 40% discount on anything that's sold to Amazon, and then a 60% discount on everything else, through their expanded distribution program. Is
Yeah.
that how you understand that, Justine?
It is. And I think I didn't explain it well enough in my blog. So let me explain it a little bit better here. This is really, really important because if you're trying to sell to the independent bookstores or to the libraries, this is a big deal. So because the independent bookstores have overhead costs and whatnot, they do need to buy your book at a discount, and that's your wholesale discount. So there's two different types of wholesale discounts. There's a full trade discount and there's a short discount. A full trade discount is between 53 and 55% of your list price. So with IngramSpark, we let you set a full trade discount, and this incentivizes the independent booksellers to buy your book, because they can get that full discount that they're accustomed to getting, and they can make a profit on your book. And
that's and I'll just say here about that, Justine, just so everyone understands. So, most traditional publishers, do, use that same discount structure, that Justine was just talking about.
Yeah, so you can
full
compete with
trade
them.
discount.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So,
and then on the short discount.
Yeah, with the short discount, they can't get their full discount. And so they're not as excited to buy the book because they're not going to make as much money per sale. And also they'll see that the book is, CreateSpace when they go to buy the book, and they're essentially buying from a competitor at not a full discount. So to them, it's not as great of a deal as buying from, you as a publisher, at a full trade discount. That's how they see it.
Yeah, but, and I will say here, the reason in IngramSpark we give you the flexibility to set up your discount in any way that, you want to between 30 and 55% is because, it depends on what your strategy is. Maybe, just selling online is your number one strategy and, and not selling to bookstores. So you could set a shorter discount, which would be, anywhere between 30 and 52%. And that will still get your book listed on, a lot of these online sites that Ingram works with.
Yes.
So that's the reason we kind of set it up like that. So that's the number two differentiator is IngramSpark allows you to set up a flexible discount where CreateSpace doesn't. The other big piece along with that is returnability. So let's talk a little bit about that, Justine.
Yeah. So all CreateSpace books are non-returnable. Again, I'll bring up the term bookstore friendly terms. Bookstores like returnability, in addition to having that full trade discount because it gives them the ability to turn over stock on their shelves, essentially. You must be prepared for returns as a publisher if you do choose returnability as an option. But it's something that they prefer. And with Spark, you are able to choose three different types of returnability. So we have return and destroy, return and ship, and then non-returnable. So we give you that option of actually having that returnability as opposed to just non-returnable.
Yeah. And I say to people, if you are very uncomfortable about the whole returnable sort of notion, definitely feel free to set your book up as non-returnable. You can, you can try a few things. If you don't see the needle moving, you can always go back and change that status to returnable if you choose to. So you still have that flexibility in IngramSpark where you don't in CreateSpace. So,
Exactly.
let's move along. Another differentiator is the cost to set up your title. So
Yeah,
in
this was a
IngramSpark,
hot
we've
one.
always in IngramSpark, we've always charged a setup fee. It is $49 to set up your book in both print and e together. And basically, we've charged that so that we're not front loading the cost. So a lot of these author services companies that you'll run across, it could be they have package prices, and you'll see costs that are kind of hidden in other packages that they offer. So we don't do that. I mean, our minimum order on a book is one copy. We do charge a setup fee just because, we still have to process that file. There's a cost to us to be able to do that. But basically, once your book is set up, it's a one-time fee, and your book is available, for the life of that book, or as long as you choose to keep your book up in our system. So, and the other thing to remember is that, we will refund that $49 if you place an order for 50 copies within the first 60 days of setting up your book. So essentially, it's free setup.
Yeah, and also we sometimes do run promotions for free setup, so always keep your eye out for a code, especially with some of our partners like with IBPA and such. But also with CreateSpace, even though it is free for setting up, with expanded distribution, they do charge a higher royalty rate for that service. So you're not making as much per book per sale. So you have to weigh if it's actually worth the money to do expanded distribution there as opposed to paying the $49 to set up your book with Spark. So something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot to think about. And as we said, it could be that CreateSpaces will be changing some of their additional services. We don't know at this point. So it's just something to kind of keep in mind. We know that at IngramSpark, we're going to be adding additional services, and we're not going away tomorrow. That's for sure. So people do ask us if it's possible to set your book up in both platforms. What do you have to say about that, Justine?
The answer is yes, and we encourage it. It's actually really easy to do both. And the way that you do it is if you have a new book and you own your ISBN, that's a big thing, own your own ISBN. You would set your book up in regular CreateSpace and then also in IngramSpark, and you can do both. If you have an existing book that is already in CreateSpace, if it's in regular CreateSpace, you can set up a Spark account and also put it in Spark. But if it's an expanded distribution, what you would have to do is remove that book from expanded distribution, into regular CreateSpace, create a Spark account, and then give our customer service team a call, and ask them to transfer the title from CreateSpace to Spark, and they can transfer that title to your Spark account. It takes a little bit of paperwork. You just have to fill out a form. But other than that, the title should be in your account in a few weeks, and it's really quite easy. We work well with CreateSpace, and so it's really, we make it easy for you. So
yeah, and I will just echo, I think I believe and know that IngramSpark is the true kind of one-stop. If you want to make your book available as widely as possible, IngramSpark provides for that. And the other thing to remember is if you have your book set up in multiple places, anytime that you change your pricing or any information about your book or any information within the book, you'll have to set that book up and in all those multiple places where you originally set it up to keep everything kind of in sync. And a lot of authors now are saying, we really like the one-stop service that IngramSpark offers so that, whenever we want to make changes to our book, we only now have to go to one place. So
Yeah,
that's
that is
something else
nice.
it's something to think about.
Not to mention,
We're all,
yeah,
go
not to
ahead.
mention you can set your ebook up at the same time as well.
Yeah, and I'm all about simplicity and and just streamlining the whole process. And we work really hard at IngramSpark every day to do exactly, that for our authors. So anything else you want to add here, Justine, before we start signing off?
Yeah, just a quick note about global distribution. This is another one that I mentioned in the blog post. IngramSpark has really great global distribution. So if you want to get your book into many countries across the world, Spark is the place to do it. So I think that was my only other one, Robin. So
Okay.
I hope we covered everything and everyone's burning questions.
Well, it's like this will, I think, for a while continue to be, the number one question that we get asked. And, we're happy to talk about it. To me, it can be an and instead of an or. And I think Justine did a really great job of kind of explaining how, you can take advantage of both platforms,
Thanks, Robin.
if you choose to do that. So next time, when you join us next week, we hope you come and listen to us talk about the actual cost of self-publishing, which is another thing that we get asked a lot about. Yeah. So we're going to chat about that in our next episode. So until then, I bid you adieu. This is Robin Cutler, and it's been great talking with you today, Justine.
Yeah, same, Robin. And for all our listeners out there, make sure to go to IngramSpark.com and also check out our blog. And I'll talk to you next week,
Thanks.
Robin.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.